I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast, Dog Pack Discord Live. Tonight, Josh All, I got Justin with me, and Kenny Mack.
What is up?
Yeah, I'm repping some Hoodletown, Dover Brewery here. Hell yeah.
Love it. Yeah, Justin, how you feeling, man? I know we missed you last week.
I had a migraine today. You know, I've been, I felt like pretty much crap all day. But then the weather's been nice, so I bounced on the trampoline with the kids for like probably an hour. Probably not good for me, but I feel great.
You look good. You look like you're feeling okay.
Yeah. You should have seen me like a week ago. You'd been like, you look terrible.
Been there, brother. I know that's rough. But so we got some stuff to talk about here tonight with the Browns. We'll bring some people up on stage, hear what you guys have to say, just like we always do. We'll talk free agency moves. We got a couple here to hit on that we've done in the last couple days, and draft talk, obviously, and whatever else you guys want to get into. So if you're watching this or listening to it after the fact and you want to be part of these Dog Pack Discord live episodes, go to jointhedogs.com. Sync up with the Discord, join the Patreon over there, hang out with everybody that you see here in the chat, that you hear on the show. And there's a ton more that not everybody can make it, obviously, to these lives when we do them, when we schedule them. So, but if you want to be part of these shows, it's jointhedogs.com. So real quick, I guess we'll hit on some of these free agent moves real quick. I think the last one I talked about was Kalia Davis, the defensive tackle. I believe I mentioned that the other day. But since then, safety, special teamer, Daniel Thomas from the Detroit Lions. We got wide receiver, special teamer, Tylan Wallace from the Ravens. And then you've got 2 edge rushers. We re-signed Julian Okwara, who was on the practice squad all season last year. And really the biggest one out of this grouping that we did the other day, edge rusher AJ Epinesa from the Buffalo Bills. So, Justin, thoughts on any of these guys? Maybe Epinesa specifically, but go ahead.
All I'll say about it is, and it's been I'd say the last few days, they're not like shocking, sexy moves. You know what I mean? It's not anything that's going to be like, oh my gosh. For me, all these moves are depth pieces. These are, especially AJ, like I see him as a nice piece that they can rotate in. Cause you have a nice core, you know, on the edge. So I look at pretty much, and then the guy from the Lions, and then also Wallace, the special teams depth. You know, to me, this is the same kind of story with Cleveland as far as like Andrew Berry, how, you know, you see a weakness and you address it. This is, for me, depth pieces for him trying to address what was a terrible special teams unit last year.
Yeah. Kenny?
Yeah, I would agree. These are tier 2 moves and mainly special team fill-ins. I mean, like, guys, all year I've been saying, where's our gunner? Where's our gunner? We look afraid to tackle. These are guys that have proven that they're not over 2 different teams that have been pretty tough in the Ravens and the Lions. So I'm happy with it. The other one, when you're talking about Davis, the defensive tackle from San Francisco, great steal of a deal for a guy that's going to come in on rundowns. And that's another thing that we've been griping about. So back-end roster moves, fill in the special teams. I think they're fantastic moves from the standpoint of what they are.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you guys were talking, depth pieces, rotational players, that kind of thing. Epinesa obviously is out of that group that was the other day with Aquara and Tillon Wallace. Epinesa is really the one that he's going to get some run. He's 6 years with the Buffalo Bills, came in 2020. He had a couple seasons, and he's always been just a rotational guy for them too, as far as I understand. But he did have a 3-season stretch before last year where he had 6.5 sacks, 6.5 sacks, and then 6. He does pretty well in the TFL department. So I think, we signed Joe Tryon-Shoyinka last year to a 1-year deal to come in and rotate around with these guys on the edge. Right now on the roster, it's just Myles Garrett, Alex Wright, and Isaiah McGuire. So we got to get some people in here for depth on the edge, and I do expect them to address it in the draft. I would imagine they do. But, yeah, I think Epinesa was a good ad. I was reading some stuff. I guess his pressure rate was higher than Tryon-Shoyinka last year and a couple other guys that we've signed in the past. So that's good. I don't think it's a big, shocking, hey, we got a home run here or anything, but good addition.
I got him for his playing time. I got him as a line of scrimmage chaos player. So he's batting balls down. He's actually getting interceptions.
Yes.
And forces the quarterback off timing, but that's what you're getting at, like with the pressure rate, right? So for the time he plays, he does something. So that's awesome.
No, you're right. He's got 4 interceptions on his career. He's got 21 pass breakups. He's scored a pick 6. So yeah, this is a guy that definitely gets up there. And what's his measurables? He was pretty 6'6", 260. So the dude's long, and he gets them arms up there. He can bat down some balls.
And we did this with Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, right? Like ultimately, he was a guy that we were going to put in for a very similar thing. We ended up going with some other players, and then we traded him and got some value for a guy that we signed on a 1-year contract, I believe.
Yeah. That's right. We did. I forgot we traded him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. We got a couple hands up. Veteran 3415 told us that it's the first time on the Discord Live here, being able to join. So let's get you up here. And what's going on tonight?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Good hearing from you.
Probably I sound like a little kid, even though I'm 65 years old. And of course, right now is when the dog is going to find something interesting to look at. Anyway, I just want to know what you guys think about this draft. If Andrew's going to do Andrew things, and we're going to get Caleb at 6 instead of Carnell or one of the offensive linemen or something like that.
I would say number one. I am still a little kid, and I'm 50. So I'm the opposite of you. Number 2, I think with the free agent signings, it's kind of unraveling that we have to get a receiver. Like we've spent. I'm not going to say we spent enough. You can never spend enough on the O-line, but they've concentrated on the O-line, and I think it opens up that the biggest devoid part of our team is either left tackle, which there isn't a great crop this year, or there's receiver, which there's a ton. And I think we're taking 2. And I think we're taking 2 in the top 3. But that's my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. What do you think, Justin?
So I don't know how you guys feel, but it's almost like, just from what I've seen over the last few years, especially with like fantasy football, offensively, I feel like this is kind of a down draft. You know what I mean? As far as like guys that are like wowing off the page, there's not really like Malik Neighbors and like Jamar Chase is jumping out here. But I do think it's interesting. I'm in 2 boats right now on this as we come up into the draft. The first boat is the one I've always been in, where I look at the talent room as far as wide receiver, and I go, you have a legit chance with Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, even Jordan Tyson. He scares me with the injuries, but fantastic players. These are all 3 guys that would come in and make an impact immediately on this team. The second part of me now is wondering, does it even really matter? I'm almost leaning, because last year we took a defensive player, my head almost exploded on when we were doing the show. This year, for me, I look at this team and I go, as much as I am a Homer Browns fan, and every year I'm like, this is the year that we do it. I look at some of the issues that we're facing moving forward, and I'm like, maybe we are 2 or 3 years out anyway. Would I get mad if we took Sonny Styles? I don't know if I would freak out as much as maybe like we were a wide receiver away and we did this, you know? So right now I'm saying I would love if we took Carnell Tate. To me, he gives me Nick Chubb wide receiver vibe. He's a quiet leader, but he comes in, he's a pro's pro. He looks fantastic. His film is great. It's hard. The only knock that I ever hear is he's got to play next to Jeremiah Smith. So, you know, like it just makes him look like he's the second, you know, of course he's like the second best, but my argument is, the second best cornerback. You know, he's not even getting the one. To me, that's garbage. And then Mekhi Lemon, I love talking about this guy. His film also is insane. And the more that I see about him, even his combine interview, we laughed about it, some of the stuff, but I'm like, this dude, we and Josh laughed. We said, he's a wide receiver. That's what you want your wide receiver to be like. You don't want your wide receiver to be humble. You want him to talk some shit. You want him to be a little crazy. So I am still very much, I would love to see a wide receiver, but I understand if we go left tackle. But I think wide receiver, if you're going to do it at 6. Don't trade back. Just do it at 6.
Yeah, with his, I was going to say with Tyson, I'd really like to get him, you know, but with his injury history, it's so, you know, flaky. But man, I'd love to get him in town with Cleveland with his brother. You know, that would just be an amazing story. Great story. And his film is crazy. He's another guy. You turn his stuff on, and you're like, wow, he wows you. It's just there's a knee injury. I'm pretty sure was it a shoulder or
collarbone?
Okay, collarbone, and then
hamstring.
Okay, so it's all different injuries, but you know the hamstrings are soft tissue and all that, but with the bones and all that, that's a little more suspect. Yeah. But anyway, that's all I had. Thanks for letting me up on the stage. It was fun. Never been on one of your lives before, and it was a good time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Come back every time we do them. We love hearing from you. This is wonderful. Yeah. We love the interaction. So we had a couple more hands up down here.
I'm usually eating dinner and stuff. Sorry for walking on you there, Josh. We're usually it's 5:30ish here, not 7:30 like you guys.
Okay.
Hey, enjoy that. You still got it.
Hey, you know what? With Tyson, though, one of the big things is with him last year, he just didn't have a quarterback either. A lot of times I just hear different guys breaking down his tape, and they're ultimately saying, like, the guy was open. The guy was blowing by people, and they just couldn't get him the ball. So, I mean, you're really throwing the dice as far as going like, hey, man, this guy was blowing up this number one DB. They just didn't get him the ball. So I think we can make something out of him. Whereas Carnell's got the tape, he's got the fluid hips, you know, he seems to be the clear-cut number one receiver in this draft. So I think Josh says it all the time. Just don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just take him.
Just take him. And what I love about Carnell Tate's tape and why I have him wide receiver 1 in this class, it's just his ability to get open with his route run. He's so detailed with his routes, little subtle movements that just make a big deal, a big difference in the separation whenever he's, you know, they throw the ball to him and he goes for the catch point. It's impressive. It really is. And I think that kind of discipline, that attention to detail, that translates to the NFL really well.
Yeah.
You know,
some of the best alpha receivers in the league are tactician route runners.
Yes.
And they get because, you know, don't get me wrong, freak athletic traits and stuff like that. But if you're a tactical route runner, you can get open all day. Absolutely. And you can get separation.
Yes.
Hey, man, if you had a guy like St. Brown, though, and that's what the comparison is to Lemon, I mean, you don't want to say a guy isn't another guy, but, man, you watch that dude, and they're from the same university. Yep. They do the same things. And, like, that guy's got an attitude that kind of switched up the Lions, right? And he's a guy that, like Jarvis Landry, to me, like, I would almost want to draft that attitude. You know what I mean? Even if it doesn't amount to as much as I think it can, look what Jarvis did for us. Like, he was just a go-to guy and got stuff done and lined everybody up. Now, am I putting too much on that kid right now for maybe he's going to do that? Maybe, but I just like the attitude with him. He seems like he wants to be a winner, and that's something this team needs.
I would be okay with, I mean, obviously I want Carnell Tate. I'd be okay with Lemon, though. Like, I'm okay as long as they go receiver. And before we bring, I think Brad had his hand up next, so we'll bring Brad up here in a second. I want to go over this research I did. I haven't talked about it yet on the show. I put out a short video the other day, but I wanted to figure out what is the hit rate on first-round wide receivers. I don't know if you guys saw this posted yet or not, but I've been hearing so many people say, well, you know, they could just take the tackle or they could take the best player available or whatever at 6. They could just get the receiver at 24. And I'm like, well, can they? Can you just get your wide receiver at 24 and think he's going to be your wide receiver 1 and the guy you need and all that kind of stuff? So I went back. What I did is I charted every single wide receiver taken in the first round of the draft since 2016. So that goes over the last decade of drafts. How many of these guys in the first round were hits? For my study, what I considered a hit to be is if that receiver became his team's wide receiver 1 within the first 3 seasons, or he received a contract extension with the team that drafted him. So that, to me, constituted a hit. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a wide receiver 1 or a guy that we're like, hey, you're good enough to get a second contract here. So what I found, hit rate overall, there were 42 total wide receivers drafted in the first round in the last decade. Out of those 42, 17 were considered hits. So that's a 40.5% hit rate in the entirety of the first round. Now, if you break it down to where they were taken in the first round, it gets a little different. If you were a top 10 pick at wide receiver in the last decade, 12 of those receivers were taken in the top 10. 9 of them were hits. That's a 75% hit rate. And then if you move to just picks 11 to 20 in that range, only 3 out of 11. So it drops from 75% to 27.3%. And then if you go 21 to 32, which is where we're picking at 24 in that range, just 5 out of 19 receivers taken were hits for a 26.3% hit rate. So the difference in odds to hit on a receiver between picking one at 6 and picking one at 24 drops from 75% to 26.3. That's a 65% decrease in your chances of hitting on that wide receiver to be either a wide receiver 1 or get an extension with your team.
All I'll say about this, and maybe I took a nap and forgot about the last 40 years, but isn't that the story of us trading back and missing the guy every year or most years, every opportunity? Don't get me wrong. I think we have a crazy string.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name from Atlanta, man. Don't say anyone's
names. I won't say Julio Jones. I won't say that. But what I will say is I keep hearing let's trade back. Let's trade back with Dallas. I've even heard, hey, let's trade back so that we can get a 2027 first round, pick, because right now it looks like that draft is going to be loaded, absolutely loaded. But did we not hear that last year about this draft?
March for Arch. Then he's not out he's not in this draft, man. And I've watched us do it last year. I would just hope that we can stand pat and take the guy. We are absolutely pieces and pieces away, but to me that's not an excuse to just be like, we're just going to trade back and just take an okay guy when we can go get an elite guy that can be a foundational point in our team. It just makes no sense.
No, it's a premium position. Yeah. In this league, what players get paid the most? What players get traded for the most? We see what these veteran wide receivers are getting traded for.
Crazy.
It's insane. Jalen Waddle just went for a first round pick.
What about Romeo Doubs?
Yeah, Romeo Doubs that's why I didn't want us to go after him. And I knew we probably wouldn't because of what he was going to end up getting paid on the market. It's insane. You need receivers. And the only way to get them without being stupid about it is to draft them. And we can't be stupid about that. We just need to do it. And it's so frustrating. But if you think about it, this is what scares me about this draft. The last 6 years, Andrew Berry has done 6 drafts. This has been his roster for 6 years. The biggest investment he's made at the wide receiver position was flipping a second-round pick over to New York for Elijah Moore and a third-round pick in return. That's his biggest investment in the wide receiver position so far in 6 years.
Yeah. And hey, the guys that we're talking about, all top 30 visits. I will say in the comments right now, Jarvis Landry is trying to make a comeback as well. Just putting it out there.
I love Jarvis. I love Jarvis. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't count him out, But I would say that if he does want to have a second job, the podcasting is very, very entertaining. It is.
Yeah.
Him and Fournette are nice,
especially when they're bashing on Kevin.
Crazy, yeah. I just like the story, like, you know what I mean. That's behind the scenes stuff. It's very telling.
I will say this: it's interesting that I haven't really heard any players or anybody coming out in strong defense of Kevin Stefanski since he's left. But I have heard some negative things, or at least players alluding to, well, maybe, he wasn't quite what everybody thought he was.
Yeah, I've seen that kind of stuff. I've seen very, very great coordinator stuff, but, maybe in the building lacking ownership of men and accountability stuff.
My biggest thing is, did you watch the Downs guys were doing what's his face for our running back there,
Quinshon. Yeah. Yep.
Quinshon.
Yep.
Yeah. They were interviewing Quinshon, and he just said was a quiet guy that didn't talk much. Man, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way for a coach, man. You need to be talking to your players.
Yes. Yep. And I think that's why I don't know how it's going to go with Todd Monken. I really don't. It could go really. We could be surprised and be like, hey, this was actually a really great hire. Worked out real well. It could go really bad. We've seen it. We've seen it all. Everything. So at least the players seem to like him. I've heard and I've been told by some people that have some connections in the league that they think Todd Monken's going to do okay. They said he's a long experienced professional coach. He's very good with his players. He knows offense is kind of what I've been told. So I'm excited to see it. Well, yeah. Hopefully it's better than what we saw last year.
See if he gets the talent to make us see that, right?
Yeah.
This episode is partnered with Kalshi. Browns fans, are you ready to put your money where your predictions are? With Kalshi, America's #1 regulated prediction market, you can legally trade on events that actually matter to you. And the best part is you don't need to predict specific stat lines and compile a 7-leg parlay just to win big. With Kalshi, the objective is either yes or no. Will Shedeur Sanders be the Browns' Week 1 starting quarterback? Will Fernando Mendoza be the first overall pick in the draft? Will the Browns make their pick at 6, or will they trade out of that spot? And in other sports, will the Cavs win the NBA Finals? You can put your money on these predictions and more with Kalshi. If you want to try it out, Kalshi is giving $10 to anyone who signs up at kalshi.com/dogs and trades $100. Get away from disadvantageous sports books and dive into real-world outcomes with real-time odds and real payouts. Head over to Kalshi, KALSHI.com/dogs, DAWGS, or just click the link in the description to get $10 when you trade $100 with Kalshi. Because why shouldn't you get paid for being right? I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
So we'll get Brad up here next. Brad, what's going on, man?
Bradley.
There's the man.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, but the Browns will for sure disappoint you.
Nice. That was good. That was nice, bro.
Hey, guys.
We do
guys.
it live.
We do it live. Welcome to the Shadow Realm. Welcome to the suffering of the in-between times for the Browns of what are we doing here? Who are we going to get? How are we going to turn this around? We got a new coach. It's a lovely time. I'm having fun. Now we got to get pumped. St. Patty's Day is over. we got to get prepared for our Super Bowl. We got to get ready for the draft, and as Justin decided not to say his name, yes, we have traded down and missed on multiple good wide receivers. One, Julio Jones, who is a... Oh, you did say it. Okay.
I said it. We messed that up bad.
You didn't hear it over my. You didn't hear it over my crying.
Yeah. Guess what? The guy that we drafted instead of him left the team anyways because he didn't want to be here anymore.
Fair. That's fair.
But yeah, that's just our suffering forever. As you guys know, and many know, I am not real high on Andrew Berry's ability to draft players. And I mean, he did pretty good last draft. I hope he can build on that, but it makes me nervous. The free agency has been okay. I know with our cap room, it's been okay. Some of the additions have been pretty good. The one lineman, I'm not really keen on.
Which one?
I mean, you take the one from the Chargers. What is his name?
Zion
Johnson.
Yeah, I am not real high on him. I've seen his tape. I've heard from Chargers fans he's just terrible, and I've seen tape where he just does like the Jed Wills on delay, let the dude right through and blow up the quarterback. I know he's young and he's been on the field, but just because he's been on the field, is he actually good? Like, just because he's consistent? I mean, I appreciate that, but like,
I would say he was one of our top 30 visits 4 years ago. There is something that Warhop probably saw that he thinks he can fix, but the main thing is if you listen to the pressers, our coach, he basically just says, I want one elite trait. The elite trait with him is not pass blocking. It is run blocking. And he's second in the league in run block win rate or something like that. And that's what they're going to hang their hat on and hopefully just get by with whatever they can make him do with pass block. But you're right, dude. It looks bad for what the money they gave him.
I mean, what are we just going to switch him out every time we go to pass because he can't pass block? Like, are we going to have another guard in there when Shador drops back and gets blown up by DJ Watt or whatever?
It's the technique. It's where you place your hands. It's how violent your hands are. It's how he's sitting his hips. And he may not, based on the tape, maybe Warhop thinks he can fix that. And that's why they threw money at him. Plus, they needed somebody. So
Thank you.
They bought that elite trait, which is run blocking, and you cross your fingers on the pass blocking.
I just have a feeling mid-season I'm going to be calling that dude's name out constantly as like the worst signing we've ever done in free agency.
Yeah, it could happen, man. It could happen, but we'll see what Warhop can do.
All I'll say, so Kenny, you nailed it and me and Brad have talked about this a little bit, but you nailed it on. We need it. We had a need. The entire offensive line was flipping this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The thing with him too is our team financially is in a weird spot. We are in a rough spot where we can't go and spend, $27 million on a center. So what you're basically getting, this is free agency. We've talked about this. If a guy is available, it's because a team let him go. You're going to overpay all day on free agency for the most part. Honestly, if he's just dependable and we don't have to rotate him out all the time, are we really overpaying for how bad the offensive line was? Like, I know what you're saying is like it could be a complete bad, like bust, like really, really awful Zach Zinter type stuff, Jed Wills type stuff. But if he's just dependable and he's just okay and solid and good and we don't say his name, that's a win, man. That's a win all day. With what we're doing.
Hell yeah, man. You pay $40 million for that.
Is a absolute win. And when you flip the whole offensive line.
Yeah.
I'm more about chemistry than anything because you have a lot of new guys coming in.
And one thing to keep in mind with Zion Johnson is Tom Telesco. So he was the GM for the Chargers when he's the guy who drafted Zion Johnson out there to L.A. back in, what was it, 21, 22? I forget what year it was now. But either way, so he had done all the work on him. He was confident enough to take him in the first round, and he's been working with Andrew Berry this offseason. So I'm guaranteed there's been some endorsement coming from Telesco as well.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to remember, like, he didn't have both his starting tackles, and we didn't have both ours, and our guards looked that much worse. You know, like there's that too. So hopefully we stay healthy. Hopefully he takes the teaching from the coaches well, and they cure a couple things, and he's serviceable.
So my thing with our number 6 pick is I hope, dear God, that I don't get a notification right before the draft again that we're trading down. Second thing, because that was awful to be at the draft party, and I understand it. You know, whatever. If it
was
know,
a steal.
It's 2020.
Yeah, it was a
steal. For Mason Graham. Yeah, and we got a lot of picks, and it was good. But and you know, we got Carson Swester out of it. But like, it's just like, it gives you that sinking feeling of like the past drafts of trading down and like how it's not benefited us. So hopefully this benefits and he stays there. And if Tate is there at 6, you turn in that card immediately. If he's not there, go best available offensive tackle, wait till 24 and get Denzel Boston or whatever best wide receivers there at 24. I know the hit rate's not great. And I know what Josh was saying with the hit rate, that's league wide. Take that hit rate and minus it by like 2 or 3% because of the Browns.
Yeah.
2 or 3%. What are you talking about, bro?
Okay, sorry, 5%.
By multiplication facts and laws, you know, like school stuff, like back in the day, man. Multiply. 15%.
Yeah, it's bad. Oh, well, yeah, I would like Denzel Boston. I think he's my next best wide receiver on my big board, just because of. Yeah, I have my own big board, but I
mean, I like it. I see him more as like a 24. Like that's where I see.
Yeah.
There's a run too on wide receiver, depending on it. How I feel like there's always a narrative every draft. If Tate, you know, Lemon, Tyson, they all come off, let's say top 15-ish, which they should, around there, I could see a little run from 15 to like.
For sure. I mean, and then my 2 late round players I would like to see us grab. And one name I know is like, why would we take him? But Drew Aller late.
Oh, okay.
Drew Aller late. I know. And what is it that Ty Montgomery from
Tyron
Bowling Green?
Yeah.
Tyron Montgomery. Oh, not for, is it Bowling Green?
No, it's not Bowling Green. It's
John Hopkins.
John, right?
John Carroll? No, John something.
John Carroll sounds right.
Yeah, John Carroll.
Right?
Like that.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd like him late in the draft too. Those are the 2 players. I just think Drew Aller has a good upside if we get him late. I think maybe we could do something with him. I don't project him as like our franchise guy, really. I mean, he could be, but
let me pause you on that then. If you don't see him as the franchise guy, why waste the pick on him? Because we've already done that, man. Why?
I don't know.
I love you, man. Just ask it, because to me, I mean, last year I justified it, and now that I think that there's I don't know what happened in the last like 4 months where everybody was like, Short Sanders had, like, lost all signs of talent, and he's not even. I don't understand what the hell happened. I saw a guy with no offensive line, no offensive weapons, try to survive through a season, and I got to see glimpses.
And he bowled out at times.
Everybody
yes.
held on. What the hell happened? Why are we talking about Deshaun Watson?
I know, right?
What?
The media. I think the media's got. There's an agenda somewhere. It just has to be. I mean, you're right, Justin. Like all of a sudden, it became, well, this is Deshaun Watson's job to lose, or he might have the leg up in the quarterback. I'm like, What? Maybe 2020 Deshaun Watson. That was 6 years ago. He hasn't played a full season since then. He can't play football anymore.
I know. And I understand, Brad, if you, because what are we doing with Dylan Gabriel? We're not sure. You know what I mean?
Atlanta.
Out next year. But I understand, like, if you need to have a guy, but they'll be available guys, man.
That's true.
I wouldn't take, because what they're saying is, he looked good. He looks good in shorts. It's the pro thing. So basically, he's getting into third, fourth round talk already. Where he was 6th, 5th, a few 2-3 months ago towards the end of the college season.
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking about Ty going in the first, early mid first round. Like what? I don't.
Kenny
I don't get
all over again.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I won't lie on that right now. I don't understand.
But Brad, I got to kick you off, man. Andrew Jackson is pushing you. He's pushing you off the stage, man.
I'm sorry. Get my best friend up here.
He's coming. Andrew Jackson's had his hand up forever. Did it work? Trying to get him up here.
Hello.
There he is. What's up, my man?
Hello.
What's
Andrew.
going on, guys?
I'm getting ready for some Nashville, bro.
Yeah, exactly, Kenny. We're gonna go hang out in Nashville. Maybe we can get B right out there on Broadway, make him a Broadway girl. I'm not for sure, but whatever. Justin, did you hit on them shoes today?
I did not.
Ask.
Got actually murdered at work. I didn't even take a lunch today. It sucked. It was what we would call a real shit blue collar day. Just got murdered. But congratulations, my friend. You made my shit day there with that purchase.
Understood. Anyway, I thought I could follow Negative Nancy and his nonsense. I mean, Jesus Christ. Brad's a sunshine pumper if I've ever seen one. By the way, I hate to say it, but if Deshaun's better than Shador, play the man. I don't like him, but you know what? I can honestly say I probably like him better than I like Shador because Shador has done nothing. So guess what? I've seen Deshaun be that guy in the NFL at least once, maybe twice in his time.
That was a long time.
Granted, that was it was, but still, he's at least put it on tape. Shador hasn't put nothing on tape other than being ass. But anyway, so you guys keep talking about this Carnell Tate at 6 and how you guys are all in love with him. But I have a question.
Here's the buck I hate.
Oh, you heard, Kenny. If that boy wore a different uniform, y'all wouldn't be loving him. Because I got the receipts.
I love it.
I got the receipts that would show that you didn't love him.
What are those receipts?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked. Because do y'all remember a couple years ago when some guy came out called Xavier Legette and y'all yelled at that, hey, he's a 1-year wonder. He's got bad stats on a bad team.
Yeah. He was
And
a
y'all
fifth
didn't
year.
like
He was
him.
a fifth-year breakout in college. He was 24 freaking years old, dominating 19-year-olds, and it shows. He sucks.
He's kind of okay.
I'm not saying he doesn't. But exactly, if Carnell Tate wore a different uniform, y'all would be saying the same thing in his 3 years because he ain't done squat.
Actually, he kind of broke. Did you go see his stats from last year?
No.
Broke out last year. He was 20 or 19 years old. Yeah.
700 yards, 752 for 6 touchdowns, and this year he was 8 something for
9 touchdowns, 11 games. Yep.
I think if he was on another team, bro, he would be lighting guys up and he would have had more receptions and more touchdowns and more yards and more everything.
Are you now? I'm personally think Kenny, you're just saying that because he's an Ohio State
Well,
guy.
see, but you can say that. There's no way to prove it either way because he played for Ohio State. We can't change that. The fact remains he's still the consensus number 1 overall wide receiver by all the mock draft. I mean, he's the first guy off the board in every mock, and it's always been top 10. So it's not just us as Buckeyes fans who think he's good. The industry thinks he's good.
I would say if he played for the Florida Gators, if he played for the Florida Gators, he would have been the number one guy on that team, and he would have got more balls his way. He would have got more touchdowns. He would have been okay based on his tape with his fluidity, his ability to separate, get off the line of scrimmage, and get open. He would be fine in the SEC. Or ACC or whatever.
Would he though? I mean, are you for sure?
I think. Let me ask you this, brother.
I'm just saying, based on how he gets open and how he's a smooth operator.
Well, who do you want then, Andrew? Who do you want then instead? Who do you want instead?
That's where I'm at. Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
So who's better than him that you want?
At 6?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think any of these wide receivers are good enough to be at 6. And I saw your stuff, and I agree with everything that you've said. And I've looked at the same research, and I've done the same things. Like, I don't think none of these guys are world beaters. But when you look back at all the research you've done over the last 10 years, and when you did post, you could see like that guy's the guy, this guy's that guy. Hey, guess what? I mean, John Ross, yeah, he could run real fast. But what else does he do outside of that? To me, none of these guys are like in any typical year, second round. Like, they're not your wide receiver 1 type guys. They're your complementary pieces. Is what these wide receivers look at. It's what I look at them at. I think getting one at 24 isn't probably a bad thing because you're probably getting what you should at 24 for the price should get 24. Look, my thing is like you get a Carnell Tate. Like I like Malachi Lemon more than I like Carnell Tate, but I mean do you like stomach cancer more than pancreatic cancer? I'm like, which one I want more? But to me, it's like. I don't want to spend a 6th round pick on either one of them, to be honest with you.
Who do you
want at 6 then?
I mean, just based on everything, like you have to go a lineman at this point in time. Like I don't think any of those. I get it.
Who's worth the 6th pick at the line then? Besides, like I think Francis Maui-Noah would be, but I don't know after that.
I'll be honest with you. I also wouldn't hate if their top lineman on the board is gone at that point in time. I wouldn't hate trading out of it.
But you gotta have somebody to trade with
and gather. Yeah, that's true. And you trade back to say 12, 15, that area, and you can still get I doubt you get a Carnell Tate, but I mean, you still get one of those wide receivers that you have pegged in that topper echelon that you think at a lot lesser value. Maybe it's a little bit better of a hit, in that aspect of it. I mean, I don't know. Like none of these guys just wow me off the board as being that guy.
Hey man, look at JSN.
This is just my opinion. I mean, take that as you want. I mean, it's just my opinion.
No, I totally get it, man. But I mean, JSN went low. A lot of the times he wasn't the number 1 receiver either because he was with Marvin Harrison Jr. I think you can bet on the talent that kid has with his route running ability. If you're gonna draft a receiver that high, they got to run the full route tree. He can do that, right? I think Mekhi Lemon can do it. I don't know if Denzel Boston can run. I haven't studied him enough. I think Jordan Tyson can, but again, I think he does like longer routes. So it'd be Mekhi Lemon or it'd be Tate for me, and we need a receivers bad.
And with receivers in the first round,
I agree.
Like even just going to like last year. So Teteroa McMillan was the consensus, like, okay, this is the top receiver in the draft. But there were questions, if I'm remembering correctly, as to whether he could be like a wide receiver 1, a high-end guy, or would he just be, kind of fit into an offense and be a good receiver, but maybe not elite. But he kind of came out last year and showed, I've got this wide receiver 1 dog in me for sure. And they took the swing on him. Then you got like Green Bay at 23 is taking Matthew Golden, which I thought was a terrible move. I didn't like Matthew Golden last year. The college production did not support taking him in the first round, and he didn't do anything in his rookie year as a pro, which, again, that's not the end-all be-all for these guys, but nothing translated for him. I just see translatable traits big time for Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, these three guys specifically to come in and have a very good possibility of becoming your wide receiver one, especially on a team like the Browns. We don't have one. We don't have a wide receiver two that we can rely on. And I think that...
You have Jerry. Wait, Jerry. Hello,
I said rely on. Yeah, you relying on him?
Oh. I didn't know we had caveats on everything.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if Andrew Berry thinks, you know what, I think we're getting back to form with Jerry Jeudy, we're comfortable with this. Come on, man. No. No.
But even
I mean, last time I checked, David Bell was great. Was a great asset too. But whatever.
Oh,
no more third round receivers,
please. Third down play, brother. Third down touchdown, or it was fourth down. My fault. 4th and 1, right?
Yeah.
6th touchdown. That was it.
Yeah.
And that crazy Week 18 no starter Cincinnati game.
Yep.
He went crazy.
2 touchdowns, man. He was breaking out. Yeah, it was. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've definitely swung and missed, and we haven't really invested anything. That's what I'm getting at too with the wide receiver. Like, if you want the best players, go get the best players. If you want to sit and wait and get, wide receiver 3s and 2s and stuff, fine, sit and wait. But that's just what we've always done. I'm talking about Andrew Berry when I say you too.
I understand that too, but I agree. Also, looking at this draft too, and being like, if we don't move, if we don't have any movement at all, taking best player available, along those lines. Like, if we take a defensive player like at 6, like, I wouldn't love it, but at the same time, like, if a Sonny Styles, a Avril Reese, or even a Reuben Bain, even one of those guys, kind of like, I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't just absolutely jump for joy either. But if that's what you want to go with, because hey, again, these guys check all your boxes, and you can get quote unquote your wide receiver one at 24, or hey, if you want to grab one of these guys to be quote unquote wide receiver 2 and punt the ball down the field and get wide receiver 1 next year, or whatever the case might be, cool, great, I get it, but we need so much on that side of it. So yeah. I guess any upgrade is an upgrade at the end of the day. I mean, Brad was in there complaining about Zion Johnson. Hey, bro, did you not watch the team last year? Like, I don't care how bad this guy was. It can't be worse than what we saw. I mean, if it was, then cool. I mean, all right. So we're just keeping it status quo. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I remember getting the video.
You guys spend the money.
Didn't touch 2 guys that ran by him. He literally reached out for both of them, didn't touch either one of them, sack. Yeah. So it's got to be better than.
Dude, and you can't fault Shador for some of the stuff last year. He was behind a bad line, man. He was behind a terrible line. Receivers didn't get open. It was just bad offense. Get somebody in there with Bond, help out. You're going to see Jeudy this year. He ain't getting traded, and get Tate in there, man. He's the best receiver that they can possibly get this year. And this free agent class that they brought in is void of receivers other than the returner we just signed yesterday or today. And they are going to get at least 2 receivers in this draft. And they are going to get significant playing time, because we need to see if we have quarterbacks or not.
Yep, they are. And it's just a matter of whether or not Andrew Berry is able to hit on those wide receivers that he takes, and if he's going to invest significant draft capital into those receivers, or if he's going to try to, bargain bin value shop again, which is what he has always done at the position, which drives me nuts because it's, like I said, it's a premium position. This episode is sponsored by ButcherBox. Browns fans, with all the free agency and draft talk, you know that spring is right around the corner, and there's no better feeling than stepping into that sunshine, ripping off that old cover, and firing up the grill. And ButcherBox has the perfect deal for you to get the best meat onto that grill this spring. Head to butcherbox.com/dogs, DAWGS, right now, and new users will get their choice between free chicken breast for a year or ground beef in every box for the lifetime of their subscription. And if you're just placing a one-time order, make sure you guys use promo code DOGS, DAWGS at checkout to get our podcast discount. With ButcherBox, you get to choose your box and how often it's delivered. With the custom classic box, for example, you get exactly what you and your family need for the warmer weather. Choose from over 80 different products, including meat and seafood. Plus, you can manage your entire subscription online and change your box type, product selections, frequency, or delivery date anytime. Shipping is always free. Deliveries come straight to your door on your schedule, and you can cancel anytime. So what are you guys waiting for? Head over to butcherbox.com/dogs right now. New users, you guys are going to get your choice between free chicken breast for a year or ground beef in every box for the lifetime of your subscription. And again, if you're just placing a one-time order, use promo code DOGS at checkout for our podcast discount. That's butcherbox.com/dogs. This episode is brought to you by Baden Sports. Browns fans, Baden Sports is your one-stop shop for all your athletic gear. Baden started out perfecting and manufacturing the best balls in the business. Yeah, if that sounded dirty, that's more about your mind than my words. But hey, it's true. Baseballs, softballs, footballs, basketballs, volleyballs, soccer balls, you name it, and Baden has engineered the highest standard sports balls available. And now they offer more than just sports balls. If you got kids playing baseball or softball, Baden has batting gloves and bats to go along with both game balls and training balls. If you're into basketball, Baden makes basketball specifically for indoor or outdoor use. Heck, Baden even has all the equipment you need for pickleball, which is one sport that I hear everyone is playing, and yet I still never have. And I need to fix that soon. But don't miss the backyard games section of Baden's website, where you can order everything you need for this upcoming outdoor season. Pool balls, backyard volleyball nets, croquet, bocce, horseshoes, cornhole, and more. Right now, you can get 10% off your entire order at Baden Sports, BADEN sports.com/dogs, DAWGS, and use promo code DOGS when you check out. That's 10% off all the top quality sporting gear you need this season. BadenSports.com/dogs. I do have one last topic I wanted to get your guys' opinion about while we were here. So this whole Browns wanting to propose being able to trade draft picks 5 years out.
Yeah.
So if anybody watching, listening after this has not heard that news, the Browns submitted a rule change proposal to the league where teams could trade draft picks 5 years into the future. Right now, the cutoff is 3 years into the future. They would like that to be changed to 5. So I've got some thoughts and opinions on it, but what were your guys' reactions when you saw that? Justin, go ahead. You go first.
All I said was, oh, shit. Oswald must have requested a trade. Damn it. Dang it. But honestly, that was the first thing that came through my head. I was like, oh, man. I was like, why are we looking that far down the road on trades? And I understand, like, they're saying, we wanted the compensation to work out, all that stuff. I'll be honest, I'm kind of tired of kicking things down the road with this organization. I wish I was just dealing with $320 million in salary cap. There's a lot of things. I don't want to throw away 5 years worth of picks if we do that. I would love to get back that kind of return, but I don't think anybody is giving away, let's say, like 3 first, a second and a fourth. Like that's crazy. That's like Madden stuff to me. Like, you will destroy the foundation of your team. It's been proven. We just saw it happen 2 years ago, 3 years ago. This is what happens when you give away that much draft talent.
Dude, I thought the exact same thing as you. I was like, did he figure some way with how he runs the cap to run the draft? That's what I thought. And then I was like, man, you know what? The bank, they give you money based on credit. And sometimes you just got to have the bank to save you from spending that money you don't need. NFL, be the bank. Just don't let us do it,
Save us from ourselves, please.
Yeah, save us.
So I know I saw all that stuff too and listened to everything. And I don't think, obviously, they're not doing this because at some point they want to trade 5 first-round picks for somebody. I don't think you'll never see somebody get traded for 5 first-round picks. That's just crazy. But it does make sense. And I saw actually, shout out to the Bearded Browns podcast. They posted this today, and I thought that's exactly the example I was trying to think of in my head. And they said, how much different would the Deshaun Watson trade have looked like if we still traded 3 first-round picks for him, but it was like the first-round pick in 2022, the first-round pick in 2024, and the first-round pick in 2026. Like, you split it every other year with maybe some other picks sprinkled in there to fill in the void, but you didn't lose 3 consecutive seasons of first-round picks. Or if you wanted to trade for Max Crosby, like Baltimore tried to and then backed out, which maybe we can talk about that too. Instead of trading 2020, like this year's and next year's first, you could say, well, we'll give you this year's first and then 2028. That way we're not screwed next year in the draft and all that. So it does make sense to kind of, I think it would really create more trade activity in the league, or at least that's kind of the general goal too, as far as what the rule proposal actually said. And Justin, I was thinking about this from like a dynasty fantasy football perspective. So I was like, okay, I am way more willing to just piss away all my draft picks 3 years from now. Because in dynasty, typically it's like 3 years of picks. My picks, like the following season, I'm a little more hesitant to give those up. 2 years out, I'm kind of in between, but 3 years, I'm like, take them. I don't care. I can recoup those between now and then. And I think if a team could say, well, I'll trade you 2 first-round picks, but it'll be 2 years and 3 years from now, not next year or the following year. Because I feel like I can get that back if I need it at some point. I feel like the mindset would change.
Yeah. The situation the Browns are in right now, that would probably benefit us better. Don't get me wrong. I know we're a lot of holes. I see us like we need a nice draft this year. But even if we like home run the draft, just looking at the roster, I'm like, man, like I'm nervous about just 500 ball. Like, and I feel like I'm selling myself on that. Like, that sucks, man. I don't like that guy because I've never been that guy, but
it just depends. It just depends. Like, look how devoid of talent we were last year. And if a couple balls bounce our way, we would have had 7 wins. Right. I'm just talking about 2 more wins. I'm talking about 2 special teams touchdowns that don't go in the end zone, right? And we somehow hit a field goal against the Bengals.
And we don't let Carson Wentz go down the field in the last 2 minutes. There's 3.
Well, I was at that game. I guess I had too many beers and forgot about that one. So, or I just forgot. I just want it erased from my memory, So, yeah, there could have been 8 wins then, if we done that. Because our defense has that talent. Now, whether Rutenberg can make it happen like Schwartz did, who knows? But, with an upgrade in talent on offense and maybe just slight downgrade in defense, it should work itself out in a division that's got 3 new coaches out of 4, right? And then there's the Bengals who just can't seem to get the defense right ever, So who knows?
I love that. Brother.
Trying to be optimistic.
Thanks for talking to me about this.
Well, if you're looking for optimism here, and I know Brad's got his hand up again here, so we'll get him up before we end the show here tonight. But as far as like what we saw on offense for this Browns team the last 2 seasons, can it be worse? Sure, anything can be worse.
Yeah.
But can it really be that much worse? No. It was like we were 32nd, 31st in the league in offense both those years. So it can get worse, but there's only a little bit. There's a lot of room to go up. And from what I'm hearing and everything, there's some optimism about Todd Monken and what he can do now as far as a head coach role of a team. We'll see. He's definitely proven himself offensively. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm excited to see if Shedeur Sanders can take the next step because he's really the only option we have. We didn't sign anybody in free agency. We're not going. There's nobody we can sign that's coming in here to be the locked-in starter. There's nobody we can draft that's going to be the locked-in starter. So just give Shedeur the year. Let's see what happens. If he develops and grows and proves to be the thing, then we have just gotten a get-out-of-jail-free card. And if he doesn't, okay, then pick a quarterback next year or whatever. We'll worry about it then. But I think that's kind of the path they're going with the moves that they're making or not making, I guess.
There's a small move that I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but I mean, Mike Rutenberg be pretty green as a defensive coordinator, kind of like what he's done based on what players have said. But to back him up, they've got a consultant. They got Dom Capers.
That's right.
Which was I like Monken's thinking about, okay, if I'm going to be a coach, I'm going to get the best offensive line coach. I'm going to take my guy that I helped develop in the Ravens, and he's going to be my offensive coordinator. I'm still calling the plays, but I like the way that he rolls and we worked well together. You know, I just like how he said he was going to put the staff together, and he did it. Now he's saying, okay, I want a guy with one elite trait that I can exploit. And that's what he's doing. He's got a guy in Zion that can run block. He's got a guy in Elgin Jenkins who can play almost every position on the line. So he's a veteran. You know, he's got this kid, even with the special teams guys, Gunner, you know, they were really good at what they were doing. They got this Espinoza or whatever his name is. And he's, you know, four interceptions for a defensive lineman on limited snaps is like, that's impressive, and a pick six, right? And 21 pass blocks. Like
that's over his career, though. That's over his career. But yeah, it is. It is definitely impressive. But
still over his career. Like, I mean, that's pretty good for limited snaps, right?
Yep.
Did you have something, Justin?
No, I said I have 0 pass breakups in my NFL career.
This is true. So I guess we'll get Brad up here to close it out. But real quick, I know I mentioned this earlier, but I was talking to somebody. Actually, he reached out to me on Twitter. I won't say who it is because he didn't tell me I could, so I don't want to do that. But he knows some coaches in the NFL. He's kind of plugged in, and he said, from what I understand, Todd Monken is taking command of the ship in Cleveland. I said, okay, that sounds really good. And he said, I'm close with some coaches in the league, and one of them told me, quote, Todd Monken is one of the top 3 coaches I've ever worked with in my entire career. So that's encouraging to me.
Yeah.
Again, I see like Mary Kay and Tony Grossi, I think, are just trying to heap praise on Andrew Berry. Like, oh, he deserves all this credit for rebuilding the offensive line already in free agency. I'm like, can we just wait to see him on the field before we say he did a good job? Because I think that kind of goes to what Brad was saying. Like, okay, Zion Johnson could be a nice piece. Could be trash. I have no idea. I need to see it on the field before I'm going to say, good job, Andrew Berry. You nailed it. I'll wait till September. Okay. Well, we'll get Brad up here one last time. One last rant. Hopefully it's a little more positive.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna leave us out with some positivity, all right?
As he always does, man. He always does.
I'm gonna leave us out with some positivity. We're gonna get into delusional mode. Here we go. All right. We're going to get to the draft. All right. Carnell Tate's going to draft to us. I don't care what Andrew says. We got, 2 or 3 SEC wide receivers on our team. They're all trash. Give me the OSU guy. All right. I don't care what Andrew says about OSU. Get him out of here. His Kentucky Wildcats suck half the time. Anyways. But
geez.
Yeah, we're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit 90% on our hits in the draft, and we're gonna be back, baby. We got the weakest schedule, I think, coming up, or one of the weakest.
Yeah.
And we're gonna win 8 games this year, boys. 8 games.
All right, you heard it here from Brad. 8 games. Andrew, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it, man. Andrew's got it. As soon as Brad started talking trash on Kentucky, Andrew's hand went up in the chat. You guys take it over to the Discord. Take it in there.
I knew that personal too. As soon as he said,
I will no longer facilitate this dispute. But all right, thank you guys for tuning in here and joining us tonight. And if you're watching again after the fact, you want to be part of these shows, or you just want to come hang out and talk to everybody in the Discord, jointhedogs.com. It's a great place to be. And I want to remind everybody, I'm trying to do this as much as I can now, ahead of time. Thursday, April 23rd, first round of the draft. We will be live streaming all night from the studio. So make sure you guys have us up on YouTube or Facebook or X, wherever you're watching us. Come hang out in the chat. We will be live reacting to all the picks, especially ours. If you guys were with us last year, you got to see some fun stuff when we took a defensive tackle on the worst offense in the world. So yeah, it was a lot of fun though. And we do it every year. We're looking forward to it this year. So it's Thursday, April 23rd. So, and Kenny will be with us again, right?
Yep. Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah.
So it'll be a good.
You know what? I'm gonna shout out the North Jersey Browns backers for winning Chapter of the Year. That came out about a month ago. I'm gonna be heading to Jersey. I think Kurt from Jersey knows that. I reached out to him. There's also is it Jeremy from Jersey?
Justin.
Justin from Jersey. That's right. Justin from Jersey. I'll be down in Montville next weekend, bro, if you're around. So shout out to those guys. Actually, I got some good news about me. I got my viewing location closed. I got a new place to go. It's called the Leaky Dory. And that is Canadian maritime speak. That just pretty much means you got a leaky boat. And it's kind of like us, you know. We're always staying afloat, but we always kind of got that hole. We're always kind of sinking, but we stay afloat. It's a Leaky Dory, man. But we're going to Leaky Dory, and we're going to be doing our Browns backers there. So shout out to my buddy Dave Guinness. He's you'll have the Guinness flowing there, that's for sure. But we'll have a good time.
That's awesome, man. See,
I love that, brother.
Yeah, this is great. It's what I love about the dog pack and everything. If you're not like, you know, in the heart of Northeast Ohio where there's just Browns fans everywhere and you can go to a bar and watch the game with people, get in here because you can connect and meet with people all over the country, all over the world, different countries, everything is great. And then Kenny comes down here all the time. We have some dog pack, you know, get-togethers and things. Go to a game. I think Kenny was talking about maybe doing a baseball game, right? The Friday night of the draft.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So Friday night of the draft, we don't have anything in. So I was going to put out, maybe we just get together for round 2, watch it at a bar.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That'd be great.
Down in Northeast Ohio, baby.
Yeah. So it's a great time, great place to be. Jointhedogs.com. All right. Appreciate everybody tuning in once again. We'll be back. Let's see. I'm doing a podcast with the UK Browns fan on Saturday morning. Oh, yeah. So that'll come out on Sunday. That'll be fun. And we just got more draft talk. Shout out what?
Shout out my homeland, Oxford, England, yo.
That's right. That is right. All right. Thanks again, everybody. We will see you guys in the next one.
Let's go, brownies.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/dogs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/dogs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/dogs for $100 off your personal trainer certification.